Okay, guys, we're going to teach you something here. Brandyn Griffin, that's Brandon with a Y. I always joke with him about that. So if only there were Y's in the last name, it would be great. But we're going to look on the inside of his 305 sprint car. He's going to not only tell us what everything is, but he's going to show us how he starts this thing. We're not actually going to do it, obviously, because I can't run next to it while he fires it up, but we'll work on that for later. All right, so first thing, let's look in, and let's start with the gauges that we see up at the top. What do we got?
So we've got water temperature gauge, our oil pressure, and then our tach.
The digital tach, okay.
Yeah, and then our switches. One's a oil pressure light, and one's the ignition.
Okay. What else are we looking at? We got the steering box,
steering
right?
box, yep. This is our fuel shut off, on and off. We use that when we start the car. When we start it, we push out on the front stretch, and we stop, and we lock it in gear with this. We push that down.
See if I can get in there and show you guys what that is. There it is. So that's how we lock it in gear. We push it forward or backwards?
We push it down. It locks,
push it down.
Yep, it locks it in gear.
And that's why we often see the tires lock up when they first start them, right?
Yep, because it's the rear end's in gear, so the tires are solid, and when you start pushing them, it rolls it over, which spins the engine over and allows you to fire it.
Okay, so before we go through more of this, I want to look inside here because there is some interesting things down here. What are we looking at right here?
So we got the drive shaft is in there. There's aluminum tube that goes around it. That's called the torque tube, and then there's a hoop that wraps around that. So if anything comes apart, the drive shaft,
just barely see it right there.
The drive shaft breaks. It can catch that, and then we've got a Kevlar blanket that attaches onto the front of it where the yoke is, where the drive shaft goes into the yoke and then into the engine. So
that's just to protect it if it does blow up, because that's going to be the spot, right?
Yep. So if the yoke fails and comes apart, that blanket catches everything, so it doesn't bounce off your ankles and hurt you. And
what's this? What's that piece? Point to that other piece that protects you a little bit, right there.
Which one?
What do we call that?
This guy right here.
Yeah.
That is. It's just a knee cover, so it wraps around the steering box here. It keeps you from, if you got in a wreck or something, it keeps your knees and your legs from bouncing off the hard stuff and hurting you, so that's a little padding and protection there.
What are the lines we're seeing?
Well, we've got...
No, right in the shot right here. See the shot I've got right here? What are the lines down below that we're seeing?
Down there? They come off the fuel pump. So one of them is a straight flow to the injection system, and then there's two bypass lines that come off of that meter our fuel.
Okay.
It's a mechanical injection, so that's how the fuel is metered. Instead of like jets in a car, there's a little holder with a pill in it that meters the flow and tells you how much fuel you're getting to the engine.
Okay. Very cool. So let me see, is there anything else we missed in there? Oh, I noticed we have the 802 crash pad in the seat.
Yes.
What does that do?
They designed those so if you got in a hard wreck, when you touch it, they're soft, and then when they get an impact, they stiffen up. So they designed those to help protect your spine and your back and stuff. So you've got a little bit of cushion and holds you up instead of being right on the seat.
Gotcha. Okay, so now we're on the front stretch and we're ready to go. What's the first thing you do?
We stop. We lock the car in gear. We turn our fuel all the way on and wave the push on. And then you watch our oil pressure gauge. When the oil pressure comes up, we flip the ignition switch and fires it.
Are we looking for a number, or are we just looking for that gauge to move?
Just want that gauge to come up. Typically around 60 pounds on our oil pressure. So anywhere around there, we're good.
Okay, just know to look around here as we go. So want to thank Brandon for doing this. Guys, hit that blue E that's at the bottom there at the end. Subscribe. We're going to be doing more of this kind of stuff. And if you have an idea for something, want to know something, please let us know and we'll get it. Brandon, thanks and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Now you guys know how these cars start.